I'm here with Dr. Kelly Victory, the Chief of Emergency and Disaster Medicine with the Wellness Company. Thanks so much for being with us here. We're talking today about flooding, and we cover dozens of flooding events each year, yet many Americans view flooding as a remote risk. How seriously should Americans consider the threat of flooding?
Floods are really quite unpredictable and can happen at almost any time. So it really behooves people to have thought about it and have thought through the many opportunities they have to prepare in advance. Tragically, we do see loss of life on a regular basis from floods due to the multitude of risks that are posed during those events.
And the onset of flooding usually happens extremely fast, with an immediate risk to life that catches victims off guard. What steps should we all take before a weather event to maximize our chances of survival when a flood hits?
Any good disaster preparedness plan includes several things, including understanding where you would go, routes of egress. In the case of flooding, where and how you would get to higher ground. Include a plan for a rally point where you will get together with friends and family members if you're separated. It includes having things prepared like emergency medications and certainly a clean water supply, because that is one of the many risks that flooding presents, is contamination of water. It also is great and very important to know where the electrical cutoff valves are at your home or business, because electrocution is one of the many risks posed by flooding. So you want to know if a flooding event should begin or be predicted, that you know how to turn off the electricity so that you don't put yourself at increased risk for electrocution during that event.
What health risks do people face after being impacted by a flood?
Most importantly, people need to understand that the emergency services that they've come to rely upon, whether that's fire rescue, EMTs, or your local hospital or urgent care, may well be out of commission. So it really makes good sense, rational readiness is what I call it, to have a supply of emergency medications on hand that you can take with you so you don't find yourself at the mercy of a system that may well be overwhelmed. That includes not only having a supply of your own medications, whether it's blood pressure medication or medication for diabetes, but also having some basic things like antibiotics and first aid supplies. And then again, thinking through the need for a clean water source. During flooding, unfortunately, like many natural disasters, clean water can be hard to come by. Contamination of the water is very common during a flood, and that includes wells. I generally recommend a gallon of water per person per day, and you should think about a 3-day supply, something you want to think through in advance, not when the floodwaters are rising.
And if I'm a homeowner that lives in a flood-prone area, what are a couple things just right off the top that I can do so I know that I'm prepared?
Well, again, in addition to having those supplies on hand, you want to know where you would go should there be a flood. And as we said before, they're very unpredictable. The water can come on very quickly. People commonly misunderstand or underestimate the power of that water. So knowing where and how you will get out. It takes only 6 inches of rapidly moving water to knock over an average adult, and only a foot or 2 of water to move a vehicle. Tragically, many of the deaths that we see with floods are from people who unwittingly drive a car or move a car into flood water, not understanding that they can easily get swept away, even if there's only a foot or 2. So it's good to think through ahead of time how you would get out, where you could get to higher ground, how you would move a vehicle, which if you have multiple different areas, different directions you could flee if you needed to, and have those emergency supplies, namely medications and water, not only for you, but for your pets. You do not want to think that you're going to leave a pet behind to fend for itself. You need to have a plan in place for getting your animals out as well.
Well, thank you so much for the insight. insight. That was Dr. Kelly Victory, Chief of Emergency and Disaster Medicine at the Wellness Company. Go to twc.health/WNTV to order your medical kit today. Use code WNTV to save 10% off your full order. Every medical kit is prescribed here in the U.S. by licensed doctors from a 50-state licensed pharmacy and includes life-saving medications like ivermectin, amoxicillin, and Z-Pak. That's twc.health/WNTV.